Welcome to today's session of fascinating concept in homeopathic materia medica. The dynamic triangle of Pulsatilla, Silicea and Fluoric acid. This trio of remedies represent a progressive journey not just of pathology but of human emotional and moral evolution. We will explore how a gentle, dependent pulsatilla personality may evolve into responsible yet suppressed Silicea state, and if unresolved, ultimately degrade the morally and physically deteriorate into fluoric acid picture. Understanding this triangle offers deep insight into chronic prescribing and the psychological patterns that shape our patients' health over a time. The triangular relationship between Pulsatilla, Silicea, and fluoric acid in homeopathy illustrate a deeper psychological and miasmatic evolution seen in chronic cases. It begins with Pulsatilla, a remedy known for its gentle, yielding, and emotionally dependent nature. The Pulsatilla individual seeks affection and guidance, often lacking inner firmness and relying on others for decision making and emotional support. This stage represents a predominantly soric or psychotic state where emotional needs and insecurity are at forefront. As life begins, the responsibilities and expectations, the pulsatilla temperament may shift inwards, developing into a Silicea state. Silicea represents a more refined, conscientious personality. They are very responsible and perfectionist. However, beneath this composed exterior lies a persistent fear of failure and self doubt. Silicea patients are emotionally reserved and internally pressured, suppressing feelings to maintain order and duty. This stage makes a deeper engagement with the psychotic miasm and hints of the beginning of structural rigidity, both mentally as well as physically. If the emotional repression and internal conflict of Silicea are prolonged without resolution, the individual may progress to fluoric acid state. This fluoric acid represents disintegration on both moral and physical levels. The once controlled and responsible nature begins to break down, giving way to carelessness, moral looseness, and excessive desires, particularly sexual. This is a clear loss of boundaries, purpose, and structure. The syphilitic miasm dominates here, as seen in degenerative physical conditions and a breakdown of previously held values. This triangular relationship is not just a theoretical concept but a dynamic progression observed in the constitutional evolution of individuals. It serves as a guide for homeopaths to recognize underlying changes in the patient's mental, emotional sphere and miasmatic shift, aiding in the selection of the most suitable remedy as the case evolves. Now we'll see some of the desires and aversions related to the food. In short, Pulsatilla desires rich, creamy, and fatty foods, but they often disagree, showing emotional dependency and a need for comfort. Thirst is usually low. As the case progresses to Silicea, the person craves cold food and drinks, sweet things, and may dislike meat or milk, reflecting inner control sensitivity and poor assimilation. In fluoric acid, desire turns to spicy, stimulating, and sometimes unnatural foods, showing loss of restraint and moral disintegration. This shift from comfort seeking to control and finally to excess mirrors the psychological and miasmatic decline across the three remedies. Now we'll see the thermal changes. In the triangular progression from Pulsatilla to Silicea to fluoric acid, the thermal state shifts meaningfully. Pulsatilla craves fresh open air, reflecting emotional dependency and a need for comfort through change and connection. As the person evolves into the Silicea state, chilliness intensifies. Silicea is extremely cold, sensitive, seeking warmth and protection, which mirrors a personality that is inward, reserved, and fearful of exposure, both physical and emotional. Eventually, in the fluoric acid state, the sensitivity reverses. The person becomes warm blooded, often overheated, and prefers cool environment. This change reflects a breakdown of inner control and moral restraint, where internal fires of passion and degeneration dominates. The thermal shift from chilly to warm represents a deeper emotional and miasmatic decline from gentle despondency through fragile rigidity to disorganized excess. Now we will see the concluding part. The Pulsatilla, Silicea, and fluoric acid triangle beautifully captures the human journey through emotional sensitivity, internal struggle, and eventually breakdown. As homeopath recognizing this transition allows us to understand not only the current state of the patient but also their trajectory of development or degeneration. This concept is not just academic, it is clinical, practical, and deeply human. By identifying where a patient stands within this triangle, we can select the remedies that not only reduce the symptoms but guide them towards emotional and moral healing. Thank you for joining me in exploring the unique triangle in homeopathy. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in depth Materia Medica discussion. Thank you.